Dear parents, imagine a situation like this. You're watching the news with your family, and the news reporter on screen talks about a molestation case. Your child, who happens to be in the same room, asks you out of curiosity, Appa, what is molestation? What would you answer? As a parent, how would you respond to this? You might not want to speak about this to your child, but here's why you should. 1 out of 2 children face sexual abuse in India. 52% of child sexual abuse happens to boys. 88% of child sexual abuse cases are caused by trusted family members and most go unreported. So we can all agree that sexual abuse is a burning issue that has to be addressed at home today. Here we have Vidya Raghu, child psychologist, who's here to talk about how you can address this issue in 3 simple steps. Step 1. How to start talking to your child about sexual abuse. Step 2. How to explain sexual abuse to a child. Step 3. How to be an approachable parent. So let's get started.
So, molestation or talking about child sexual abuse today is not a choice or something that parents can do at leisure. It has become mandatory, it's become our duty to talk about it. Why do I say that? Because it is very, very prevalent. We have had surveys which show that 53% of the respondents have reported some or the other form of sexual abuse. It is there in our environment. And what better way than making them aware, rather than they're going to find, they're going to find ways to find out what it is. So instead of encouraging them to just go and find it from sources that we do not trust, it's better for us as parents to take the responsibility on ourselves and give them the right information and make them aware. The very first step is to open up as parents, to let go of the myth that they may not understand and there might be a right time to talk to it. In our experience, even a 3-year-old understands. So there is no right time. Start today. We need to let go of the myth and initiate the conversation, right? So the step has to come from the parent. I would suggest that let's not make it fear-driven. Let's not make it a very concerned issue for them. Instead, let's look at how do we do it in the fun ways. So some of the things that can be done is to engage them into a worksheet where you have the different body parts, and we ask them to mark the different private parts. We talk to them about private parts and then we ask them to mark. Another could be to give them different shades of colors and ask them to color out and show the difference. So different colors for different private parts. It could be done through a puppet show, just finger puppets, and it could be used to, you can get really creative around it. You can also enact and show children. So you really have to go down to their level and make it really fun for them to reinforce that every individual has private parts and they are special for everyone. So neither they should allow anyone to touch them or hurt them. At the same time, they also should not go and touch and hurt any other individual's private parts. In our experience, where children get stuck is because of the simple word called secret. Because we don't talk about it, they think it's something not to be talked about, and then it's a taboo, and then they carry the word called secret with them. So we need to encourage them to understand at home is a place where things will be kept secret, and there is no secret between a parent and a child. We need to build that level of bonding and communication with the child where they feel safe and comfortable to come back and report to us, to discuss with us, to ask questions which they cannot ask outside. Instead of showing them away saying, this is not your age, that's not for you, let's listen to them and maybe tell them saying, okay, I will find out and tell you. Let's find out a better way to address it rather than just sending them back. Because today we're in an age where they are exposed to a lot, even though they're not directly there, but they are curious and they pick it up from the environment and they are going to find ways to go and find out. So it is essential for us as parents to build the communication. And the most important part of it is there might be issues that the child has gone through or may have experienced, and at that point of time it's very essential for us as parents to enable children to come back and talk to us, and especially reinforce that it's not the child's fault. There's nothing wrong with the child and it's completely fine and they're safe and we are going to handle it. There are a lot of resources available. There are proper systems in place where we can reach out and address it, which will also be told to you. And apart from that, hitting on the fact that it's not their fault and keeping the responsibility of ensuring that their self-concept and their self-identity is not hurt is also our responsibility, and that can be done through a lot of affection, a lot of open communication and lots of listening.